Ladies and gents, welcome to the world of war. No? Welcome to Warhammer. No. How about Warframe? Halo Destiny? What? This game is a mixture of all of those? Awesome! What is up, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Chad from Game Review HQ, and today we're gonna take a look and get wild with Wildstar. Published by NCSoft and developed by Carbine Studios, and coming out with their brand spanking new free-to-play mode, this game is the next big thing headed your way. Whether you want to hit it back or dodge it, well, you decide after you have your first look. So here we go. Okay, so as you may or may not have heard me say, this game takes on some of the biggest titles to ever hit the MMORPG market and smashes them together to create this game. From the onset, Wildstar boasts an average download size of about 10 gigs, which isn't really that bad considering there are other games out there that boast of a bigger download size and not as much action packed in that package. I'm looking at you, Skyforge. Anyway, this game is about two factions hunt for the Elder Cube. You've got the Dominion, who's got control over the planet Nexus, and the Exiles, who are like the underdogs, so basically they're like the good guys. Now, Nexus was inhabited by the Eldars, who had immense power, and those two factions are now looking for the resources who they've left behind in hopes of getting access to that same power, that resource being the Elder Cube. Now that we've got that out of the way, let's break the game down. Okay, so first of all, graphically, this game is like, well, this game is cartoony as cartoony stuff gets. It's kind of like Kingdoms of Amalur or the Fable series. You still recognize humans as humans, but the proportions are kind of off, so you kind of know it's cartoony. It's good, but it still suffers from a certain lack of wow factor. I can't really put my finger on it, but it just seems bland and dull and repeated and rehashed. And what I'm trying to say is, if you like to stay in games for graphics, Wildstar is not the best place for it. Just forget it. The graphics seem a bit rough too. What you're seeing here is the game in ultra high settings, but it still kind of looks pre-rendered, like it's not done modeling. Anyway, there are also huge chunks of the map, or the game, which seems a little too dark in contrast. I wanted to adjust the settings, but the game has such limited options for adjusting graphics, controls, audio, and UI that I don't have any idea how to fix this. Maybe there's a mod or something, I don't know. As for the gameplay, well, let me tell you that it is confusing. For the first 20 minutes of playing this game, I didn't know where I was, what I had to do. Hell, I didn't even know how to attack or change classes. As of this moment, I'm still kind of confused as to how to go about this game. But I'm kind of getting the hang of it. The game's dependence on the learn-as-you-go formula kind of kills the thing. Then you decide to check the controls to see the mappings, and then you remember that the game doesn't even let you edit that. So I think the developers thought, hey, why don't we remove the control mapping feature and just let them figure it out as they go? It's kind of frustrating. The UI is of no help either. I mean, look at it. It's confusing. It's a bunch of text and buttons and instructions and arrows and names, and oh my god, why are you overloading me with so much information? I hope there's an option for me to go back to basics with a simple health bar, a mana bar, a chat box, a skill tab, and a minimap. That's all I ever need, please. Not this cacophony of information that I will not use. My brain can only handle so much stimuli before it totally caves in and implodes. What are you gonna do then if that happens? My other impression of the game is that it kind of copies from other games a little too much. Then again, it might be just me because that is totally not an orc, and that is totally not a Draenei, and that is totally not a night elf, and that is totally not the game's take on a big fluffy bear-like creature. Also, the game has two factions, and that is totally not the Scourge, and that is totally not the Allies. Really? Anyway. What else? Oh god, the lag! And all the kicking. I constantly get kicked from the servers of this game. I don't know why. I have a decent internet connection, so it must be them. All my ports for this game are open, so it must be them. The first 2 hours of me playing it was spent trying to just log in. The queue is so long, it's ridiculous. The lag also has kept me from finishing challenges properly, therefore depriving me of sweet, sweet rewards. Alright, now that I'm done ranting, it's time we check out the good parts of this game. First of all, let me just say that the waypoint system is and which direction you need to go. The roads on the minimap ensure that you don't go off wandering too much till you get lost, but it still leaves that option to you. If you want to get lost, it's fine with the game, it's not gonna drag you back to your waypoint kicking and screaming. Also, the world you're in is alive, full of events and elements that you can interact with. For example, if you have an enemy chasing you in the outdoors during a lightning storm, drag them and kite them toward the path of the lightning, and when it strikes and hits them and damages them. Hell, even the NPCs aren't safe from the world's elements. Look at it! The game also features login rewards that are refreshed every day. EXP gain isn't a pain in the butt, and it seems like grinding isn't an issue either. You just have to go through the story and get the EXP and item rewards as you go along. And speaking of quests, the waypoint system is on point like I said, but it comes with a system that I really haven't seen before in online games. A mobile turn-in system, meaning there are some quests that you could turn in without having to go back to the NPC that gave you that quest. My god! After 12 years of playing MMORPG games, someone has finally thought of installing this system. What genius! What intellect! What creativity! It's amazing! Man, this thing on over 10 rating in IGN. Wildstar also features challenges in the game that you can activate by walking to some pylons and hacking them. After that, enemies spawn, and after you successfully defeat a certain number of waves of enemies, you get rewarded for your that some of these challenges are in a set amount of time, so it might prove difficult if you're lagging. On top of that, Wildstar also allows add-ons or mods, so the confusing UI we talked about would be less cluttered after a while as the game progresses. All in all, Wildstar is a good game. It may not be the best, but it is good. It has elements that are fresh, like a living world, and the player-activated challenges. But it still suffers from the same pitfalls as any other MMORPG out there. Repetitive quests, rehashed storyline, and technical issues that can be avoided. But then again, I guess it's just normal. Since we're only scratching the surface of the game anyway, we should give it a chance and cut it some slack. After all, it just launched its free-to-play mode. There is hope for Wildstar, however. It just opened its F2P functions and should be headed up to be an awesome game it's meant to be. And this is it for our first look at Wildstar. What do you think of this video? What game would you like us to review next? Post your opinions and suggestions in the comment section below. And once again, this has been Chad from Game Review HQ, and as always, see you again in the next video. Goodbye.
On short notice. And if anyone sees me in this hunk of exiled junk, it was all your idea.